really is a disgrace.
This morning, there may be a roadblock in a new stimulus package, and it's coming from the top down, what President Trump is now demanding.
Snow is back in the forecast, but does it arrive in time for Christmas? I'll let you know.
It's a slam dunk for sports fans. The NBA is officially back. This morning, the defense the league has taken against the coronavirus.
The rate of infection is not very high at all. It's very weak.
WSU has tested over 75 animals for COVID-19, and they say one species is particularly vulnerable to the virus. We'll explain what they found.
Up with KREM starts right now with Jen York, Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
All right, coming up now on 6 a.m. on our Wednesday morning, welcome to Up with KREM. The National Weather Service here in Spokane released the Inland Northwest 2020 year in review. Now in January, some areas saw up to 3 feet of snow in 3 days. So let's take a live look outside right now on our Wednesday morning. And a little bit different story. It's still very pretty outside, but not a lick of snow on the ground. This morning, Jeremy Legoo is joining us from the Weather Center this morning. Jeremy, we've been talking about the chances to see a white Christmas this year. Maybe not, but it's not maybe that far off.
Yeah, you know, Jen, first and foremost, I feel attacked this morning between men putting off gifts, not delivering on snow, there's none on the ground, and now it's missing us on Christmas. I'm working my best, people.
Everyone's looking to point the finger, and it looks like you're our target this morning, but hey, give them a break.
All right. Well, you know, I am doing my best, and we've talked about it all week. We've just been too warm. In fact, that warm rain earlier this week melted all the snow that was hanging out in the shade, so we are starting out with a lack of any sort of snow. And when you look at these temperatures, you go, come on, how did we miss this by just a couple days? Well, this is the way weather tends to work. We are down in the 20s and teens this morning because of clear skies overhead. As we get into the afternoon, we're going to hang on to those clear skies. A couple of stray clouds are going to scoot on by, but that's really going to be about the extent of it. I'd call today partly cloudy, if I could call it something. And that's really what's going to take us into Thursday. Thursday offers a bit more sunshine as our little ridge of high pressure builds. We've been talking about this for the past few days, so it's dry. And temperatures stay cool. We are right around where we should be. We'll be a couple degrees above average as we head into the afternoon. And the next couple of days, unfortunately, we stay dry. But see, Friday, we're building those clouds back in. That return of cloud cover comes ahead of our next chance of snow, and I'll let you know when that arrives. And it might just be a little too late, I guess.
Well, before you go, Jeremy, I just want to say real quick, I wish this had been the weather last year when I was moving to Spokane because that snow just dumped right on me. So that's my grievance for the morning. But we'll check back with you in just a few minutes.
Got to air your grievances.
It's Festivus. Here we go. Hey, new this morning, the federal government has reached a deal to acquire 100 million doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine.
Some of those doses could be on the way to Washington. The Washington State Hospital Association is expecting nearly 180,000 doses total of both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Experts say hospitals will store the Pfizer vaccine. Meanwhile, health departments, primary care facilities, and private medical groups will take the Moderna doses. Right now, it's unclear how many of those doses will make it here to Spokane.
Meanwhile, Panhandle Health in North Idaho is expecting over 4,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine this week. And Kootenai Health set a record high for COVID-19 patients on Monday, December 22nd, with 86 patients. 30 of them required critical care. As of right now, the hospital has been able to vaccinate nearly 700 employees against the virus.
Well, this morning, 2 healthcare workers in Idaho are recovering from suffering severe allergic reactions to the Pfizer vaccine. So here's what we know so far. Both have a history of severe reactions from injectable medication. One healthcare worker is fully recovered. Meanwhile, the other is still in the hospital.
And this morning, we want to hear from you at home. Who do you think should be vaccinated next? Text us to share your thoughts at 509-448-2000. We'll be talking about your answers all morning long right here on Up with KREM.
I like whoever responded, checkers at grocery stores.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
They've been very busy throughout this whole thing. All right, 6:04 now, and time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
A fire on the South Hill has left 4 people displaced this morning, just 3 days before Christmas. We talked to one of the people living there who, in addition to a number of other challenges they faced in 2020, including losing his dad and his job, and now his home.
I miss my dad, man. What's killing me is I got stuff in there. My dad's earned everything I put, and I feel I'm freaking out like I lost it all. It's the only thing I have of my dad right now.
Now the house and everything inside of it are largely destroyed or badly burned. Luckily, nobody was hurt, and 3 dogs got out okay.
Well, this morning, a suspect is in jail accused of sex trafficking 3 girls in Western Washington. Bellevue police rescued the girls earlier this month in an undercover sting. The suspect is now facing several charges, including human trafficking. Police also arrested 14 men for patronizing a prostitute. The suspect is now being held on a $200,000 bond.
We think that approximately 2,000 buyers are trying to solicit sex online in King County on any given day.
Detectives say this case just highlights a larger problem across Western Washington.
Nationwide, more than 1 million people have passed through airport security checkpoints in each of the past 2 days. Now, this is the first time we've seen this rate of travel since Thanksgiving. And for those who decide to travel this year, the CDC is now recommending that you get tested both before and after any trip. So we're talking 1 to 3 days before you leave and another 3 to 5 days after you return home. The CDC also recommends staying home until your results come back.
Well, Lyft is offering free or discounted rides to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Leaders say it's meant for low-income or uninsured community members. They say will also help people in at-risk communities get to and from vaccination sites. It's offering up to 60 million rides, though it's unclear when the service will begin.
And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by sharing the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media.
Taking a look at what's trending this morning. Thanks for hanging out with us on Up with KREM. Now, the NBA is trying to pull off another season.
We're going to check in with Dana Marie in just a little bit. The NBA, of course, trying to pull off another season under difficult circumstances. And a new season of games just started yesterday with 2 on the slate. The NBA did complete its 2019-2020 season in a bubble-like community and managed to keep COVID-19 from spreading. But there is no bubble this season, making it maybe even more challenging over the course of a December to July season. So the NBA has consulted with experts and devised a plan that they believe will minimize COVID outbreaks and lead to the completion of the finals without any major problems. The league drafted another set of extensive health and safety protocols aimed at limiting COVID-19 cases among its players. The 158-page document is more extensive than the bubble protocols. So this season, only a handful of teams are going to open their seasons with a small number of fans in attendance. So this morning, we want to know what you think. Do you think the NBA should consider using the bubble again this season? Should all sports consider something like this? Share your thoughts with us at 509-448-2000. Now, while we're talking about pro basketball in the Pacific Northwest, it's been an interesting 24-plus hours for Seattle Sonics fans who are craving the return of the NBA. On Monday, Commissioner Adam Silver said that the league is looking at the possibility of expanding the league due to the financial hardships that were created by the pandemic. So those expansion fees could give teams a nice influx of cash. And I know that when the Sonics moved to Oklahoma City, Jen, everybody in the Pacific Northwest that loved them was so devastated to lose their team. I actually grew up loving the Sonics. I mean, I was a California kid. I still love the Sonics.
Oh, hey, we like that.
That's right.
Yeah. Fingers crossed maybe someday they'll come back and we'll see it and get, an NBA team for the Pacific Northwest. But guess what, to wait and see on that.
Especially with the Kraken now coming to Seattle. The stadium's going to be there. The building's there. Just bring the team in. Everybody would support it, I think.
Yeah, where the Kraken are playing is where Sonics used to play, too. Yeah. So maybe we can get a twofer out of that deal. Out of them redoing Key Arena.
I personally would be so excited to see this come back. Well, hey, 2020 is coming to an end, and we know it might not feel like it, but it wasn't all bad. Coming up, we're looking back on some of the stories that brought us hope and put a smile on our faces.
And you're heading out the door with much colder temperatures this morning, but believe it or not, this is where we should be this time of year. I'm going to break down why in our upcoming forecast.